Good morning, students. Today we're going to do a review of the early colonial society. Alright, first off, there's types of immigrants. Can you tell me about the types of immigrants that went to Spain from Europe?
Well, Spain had, some of the military, like the conquistadors, and they had some of the, like, the Catholic priests, and then the monks, like the Jesuits who came over to try to convert the natives.
Okay. Can either of you tell me about the Europeans that came from England?
The Puritans were people who were persecuted religiously, and England was more than happy to send them away. And there were a lot of entrepreneurs too. What was it? First at Jamestown, they were sent to do that as well. So I think with England, you had people who kind of went for different reasons, but for same reasons too, right? People who had religious incentives and people who had economic incentives to go.
Right. Alright, well, can you guys draw any comparison between those who went from Spain and those who went from England?
Well, there was a difference because from Spain they were Catholic, and from England they were Protestant. That's different. And then, like, the reason for going, like, Spain had more military, and then England had, like the business people. So Spain, it was like a lot more the government sent, where I think like in the English colonies it was a lot more free, or more localized control.
Yeah, in England, they just wrote them charters and said, go ahead, see what you can do. If you fail, oh well. If you don't, that's good. It helps us out as a nation.
Okay, good job, guys. Alright, I'll be testing you on that. Alright, now we're going into the relations with the two countries and the natives and the relation of the two countries with the African slaves. First off, the natives. Alright, when Spain first found the New World, they ran into a lot of strong tribes, especially in Mexico, where they ran into the Aztec or Mexica, and in South America, the Inca. Alright, England, on the other hand, ran into weak tribes, so they didn't need the conquistadors. Alright, and the relation with the African slaves. Spain had a lot more because they were able to directly send them to the colonies from Africa. On the other hand, England, they had to do the Columbian Triangle, so they had to just do a really roundabout way of getting the slaves to the 13 colonies. Alright, what, from the different types of immigrants and the types of natives and slaves in Spain and England, can you guys draw any conclusions?
Well, I see that Spain has a lot of sort of names up there. It looks like the system they had for racial distinction. I think what I remember was that Spain didn't have a lot of Spanish immigrants. They had a lot more natives and Africans there, so they had to create this big social structure to try to keep order. In England, there wasn't the need to do that. A lot of the British colonies, they were sort of English societies outside of England, right? The tribes have been separated. The African slaves eventually would be segregated, so they didn't have to do too much sort of, I guess, development of a complex social structure.
So it pretty much stayed the same for the English colonists.
For the most part, yeah, there wasn't a need for it.
Okay, good. Good job, guys. Alright, now I'm going to ask you a couple hypothetical questions here, and you guys tell me what you think the changes would have been. Alright, the first one was, how would the British colonial policies have differed if they had run into strong native opposition?
I think they would have had to send much more of their military over, like Spain did. So basically send the English equivalent of the conquistadors over to actually conquest the areas instead of, just being able to fend them off just individually like they were able to.
Okay, good job. And now I got one more, and this is for you, Alex. You ready? It's on the test.
I'll try.
Alright. If the Spanish had been able to get, or had not been able to get African slaves, would they have been as successful?
I don't think so. Considering you have to ask yourself where else would they have gotten up a population. Obviously the natives, a lot of them died from disease. And for a lot of the Spaniards who lived in Spain, not a lot of them wanted to go. So I don't think they would have been as successful.
Okay.